Go.
Amen. Hello, everybody. My name is Griselis Pulido, and today I'm going to present to you women need to be prepared for labor and delivery. So, I want you to imagine that you're in labor, you go to the hospital, and you find out that you couldn't get the epidural that you were relying on your entire pregnancy. What do you do now? Women need to be prepared for an unmedicated birth, even if they're planning on getting an epidural. So whether you're a future parent or a supporting one, knowing what to expect during birth can make a huge difference in the experience and the outcome. Today, I'm going to inform you about the importance of birth preparation, the risk of relying solely on epidurals, how an unmedicated birth preparation improves the incomes regardless of your birth plan, why you should listen to me, and what a cascade of interventions even is. This is my baby that I had naturally. All right, so why should you trust me? Why should you even care? So, from personal experience, I had a spinal block and a C-section, and following that, I had 2 unmedicated natural vaginal births. So, not only am I passionate about the subject, but I have experienced it myself. I have also thoroughly researched this topic, and I will be providing sources at the end of the presentation, so you don't have to just take my word for it. So like I said, I am passionate about it, and following this semester, I'm actually gonna get into nursing school to become a labor and delivery nurse. And so why should you listen? So even if you're not a woman giving birth or planning to have children, you know somebody who is. You're married to someone who is, you have a sibling, a friend, a cousin. People give birth, and it's important for us to be educated in order to help our fellow women. All right. So here is what the damage is of relying solely on an epidural. So according to the Cleveland Clinic, epidurals may not work as intended at all, with some of the risks including low blood pressure, a difficulty pushing due to the fact that the woman does not feel her contractions, which you feel it and you feel the urge to push. She doesn't feel that. So it's going against what is natural. And because of that, labor may be extended. Another thing too is that epidurals might not work on the first try. So the anesthesiologist might have to poke at the spine a few times to get it in. And even once it's in, it might only numb one side of the body or nothing at all. Another risk is that the woman might not be far along enough in labor, so she still might have to labor on her own and figure out how to manage that before she gets an epidural. Or she may be too far along in her labor where she can't get the epidural and now she has to push without it. Or there might not be an anesthesiologist available at the time, so she still needs to know how to manage her contractions on her own. Cascade of interventions. So what even is a cascade of interventions? The cascade of interventions is medical or non-medical interventions that in turn lead to more interventions, therefore leading a cascade of interventions. Many interventions can be avoided just by being educated about your options. All interventions are not bad, but many can be avoided. An example of how a cascade of intervention usually goes is that a woman goes in for an induction. It might be necessary, might not be. And because an induction is artificial, the contractions are therefore more intense and further together. So she might want to opt for the epidural because it is so intense. The epidural in turn slows down labor, so they might need to give her more Pitocin to speed up labor. And then the labor is going by too quickly, then they need to give her a pill and medications to slow down the labor. And after all of that up and down, it will cause the fetus or even the mother to become in distress, therefore leading to a C-section, which C-sections are never fun, believe me. So the empowerment of birth. So Judith A. Lothian notes in her article in the Journal of Perinatal Education that women who prepare for an unmedicated birth report higher satisfaction and less trauma in their birth experience, even when interventions are used. And some more benefits of a natural unmedicated birth is improved microbiome and positive bacteria. When the baby passes through the vaginal canal, they do encounter like great microbiome and bacteria that is therefore helpful for them in life. And because of that, it also boosts their immune system. A natural birth also prevents obesity, asthma, diabetes. When the baby is born without any medications, whether it's fentanyl, whether it's an epidural or anything like that, they have a lower risk of respiratory issues and an improved heart rate, as discussed earlier. For the mother, there's a reduced risk of complications with the labor because everything is progressing as the body should be. And in turn, there's a shorter labor because the mother can move around and the baby can flow smoother through the different stages, and better breastfeeding outcomes because the mother is alert, the baby is alert, and they're both connected to make that breastfeeding journey together. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation today about birth and why it's so important. Again, interventions are not bad, but they should be avoided whenever possible, just in case you're not able to get them when you wanted to. Some of my sources here, thank you to the Cleveland Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic Health and Essentials, that they have organized the benefits and the risks of an epidural. Howland Genevieve with the natural birth, how to expect and how to prepare. Loathan Judith with the healthy birth practice and avoiding interventions unless they're medically necessary. And Pregnancy by Design, explaining the cascade of interventions, Pregnancy by Design. All photographs are personal by me, taken through all three of my birth, labor, and deliveries. Thank you so much for listening to my speech. Again, my name is Griselis Pulido, and this was a speech that I prepared for my oral communications class at Daytona State. Thank you.